Today, transportation in the Okanagan is mostly by way of road, motor vehicles, and aircraft. It was not always like that, though. The Okanagan Silk people native to the area relied on the Okanagan Lake and River as the traditional means of transportation. In the late 1800s, Europeans began to settle in the Okanagan Valley, and transportation by water was seen to be of great importance to them as well. Roads were scarce and travel by land was difficult and timely. In 1892, the Shuswap and Okanagan Rail Line was completed from Sicamous to Okanagan Landing, which is located at the north end of Okanagan Lake, southwest of the city of Vernon. Soon after the completion of the rail line, Canadian Pacific Rail bought it, and plans were put in place to lengthen the transportation line down to Penticton via the lake. In 1893, the Okanagan's first sternwheeler, the SS Aberdeen, was launched, extending the railway's reach from Okanagan Landing to Penticton. The CPR sternwheelers were powered by steam engines that would drive the large paddle wheels at the back or stern of the boats, propelling them through the water. As the SS Aberdeen gained popularity, it became clear that more sternwheelers were necessary. The SS Okanagan was launched in 1907, followed by the SS Sicamous in 1914. The ships were used to transport people, cargo, food, machinery, and mail. Alongside the sternwheelers, tugboats such as the SS Naramata would transport rail carts and barges across the lake. These vessels brought provisions to the people of the Okanagan Valley and carried fruit and produce from the Okanagan Valley to the world. Teams of horses were used to move rail cars along the tracks at rail yards. The rail cars would either be loaded onto barges, ready to be shipped away, or brought to the packing houses and coal dealers to be filled. Steamships flourished in the late 19th and 20th centuries as the primary source of transportation in the Okanagan Valley. But with the mass production of automobiles that began in the early 20th century, a shift began to form. In 1907, there were only 100 horseless carriages registered in British Columbia. By 1920, there were 28,000 registered motor vehicles, and by 1925, there were more than 56,000 registered motor vehicles. Luckily for the CPR, the poor road conditions south of Kelowna to Penticton discouraged transportation by land, and for the time being, the CPR continued to flourish. By 1935, the increased presence of highways and railways in the Okanagan Valley decreased the need for steamships, and the cost of operating them became too much. In 1926, the rail line between Kelowna and Vernon was completed. In 1958, the Okanagan Lake Bridge was constructed, connecting Kelowna to the western side of the lake. This floating bridge was the first of its kind in Canada and helped make transportation between the north and south of the Okanagan Valley much easier. In 1947, Kelowna's airport was born. It began as a 3,000-foot grass airstrip and a variety of small aircraft. In 1960, the Kelowna Airport extended and paved the runway to over 5,000 feet and expanded the taxiway and apron. This expansion provided significantly greater connections to the outside world, with the ability to receive larger commercial airplanes now possible. In 2008, the William R. Bennett Bridge that connects present-day Kelowna to the west side of Okanagan Lake was completed. This new bridge was a significant transportation improvement because it relieved traffic congestion in the area caused by the old bridge having to stop traffic to allow boats to pass underneath. There have been many improvements to the transportation industry in Okanagan's history. Each method is an important part of the Okanagan's history and has affected where and what the Okanagan is today.